Hey, Professor Nance. Uh, this is my week 4 discussion post. Um, you asked me to discuss Paul's bold statement in Romans 11:26 when he says, "And in this way all Israel will be saved." And your question was, has Paul contradicted himself when he says, "For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved" in Romans 1:13? Okay. Uh, First of all, I do not believe there is any contradictions in the Bible. I believe there are misunderstandings and people take things out of context. It depends on who the speaker was speaking to or writing to in this case, and at what point in time and the culture, the social lives of the people of that era. I believe all that plays in. And so therefore, there's a lot of things that go into play here. For instance, when he also is talking about that women should remain silent in church if they have questions, ask their husbands at home. Okay, that's not literal. That was just for that church because those people were from the Diana era, and so therefore those women were trying to intertwine the worship of their God with the worship of Jesus. And so therefore he had to basically put his foot down in that church and say, look, you guys got to stop and let this happen. So anyways, I digress. But that's just an example of context, place, people that he was speaking to. So anyway, uh, I have debated with people over this. I have had long discussions. I've studied and studied and studied commentaries, texts, the Bible, of course, different interpretations of the Bible. And my best answer is I don't have an answer. Um, my hope is that somehow the people that he's referring to as Israel will miraculously convert to Christianity. They will come to know Jesus and believe Jesus. And I understand, just like Clarence Spence says in his book, it would take some kind of a miraculous feat for that to happen, as is viewed by the amillennialisms. But that would be my hope. I mean, it could be taken in several different ways. I mean, he could be referring to the Church of Jesus Christ as Israel. I have heard our church be, us as the church be called the New Israel by theologians, but I don't know. I really don't. I mean, my opinion after the research that I've done is that it will be the nation of Israel. But I don't think it's going to be the current citizens of Israel. I think there's going to be a great regathering from all the nations. A lot of people think that's already happened. I, for one, don't. I don't think that's happened yet. I think that there is going to be a miraculous gathering of all the people from the 12 tribes, the descendants of the 12 tribes, back to the country of Israel. And I do believe that in a equally miraculous form, Jesus is going to reveal himself to them, and they're going to get another chance because they turned down the first one. As for their bloodline and genealogy, I don't think that really matters. I think it, as far as the salvation goes, I think it matters in the aspect of they were God's chosen people. And I do believe that will stand true because he says that in the scriptures that his word is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So I don't believe that he's going to change his word. I mean, he can. He's God. He can make exceptions, but uh, from my understanding, from our textbook. This is basically, he summed it up on the last page of chapter 12 when Clarence Spence, when he said, like Job, we finally reach a point in our speculation concerning the outworkings of history where we let God be God. Paul does not bury his head in the sand nor mumble some philosophical platitude like what will be will be. Instead, he affirms out of his faith commitment that God's paths are beyond tracing out. We can't trace God's paths. He goes on to say, whether the issue is as cosmic as the final destiny of Israel or as personal as the spiritual transformation that enables us to put to death our old nature and live by the Spirit, God knows how to do it. Paul concludes with an all-embracing affirmation concerning the sovereignty of God. One of the reasons that I believe in the Wesleyan tradition is, or doctrine, is because of, just like the ebook that we were given in our reading material, more love than sovereignty. I believe in that the love of God supersedes the sovereignty of God, or at least is equal to it. I feel like it supersedes it because Jesus came from more of a loving purpose than a sovereign purpose. Yes, legally, an ultimate sacrifice had to be made in order to for us to be cleansed and be accepted by God. However, I believe he did it more out of love. Good old John 3:16 says it all. You know, he says, whosoever. That means any person. Whosoever means anyone that chooses. So that's where I'm at on this. I can't wait to hear your dissertation, what your thoughts are, and I look forward to you picking this apart and giving me more to study and think about. As always, God bless you, and I'd like to say thank you very, very much for lifting my family up in prayer, because we desperately need it right now. We're fighting some spiritual battles that I knew I was going to come under spiritual attack when I accepted the call to ministry, but I had no idea that they were going to be this bad. So again, I appreciate you, and God bless you, and you have a blessed evening. Thank you.